What's good with y'all? Welcome back to my channel. I'm your host Vito Supreme on your TV, computer, or phone screen. It is 3 in the morning. And normally what I do at 3 in the morning is some nasty stuff. Real nasty stuff. Police! Let me stop playing, or am I? Help! But I normally watch YouTube videos of space at nighttime. For some reason, that's just something I always do. I always reset my brain. It's like I factory reset my brain by reading into all this space information, and it really messes me up and it makes it hard for me to go to sleep. However, I'm such an evil villain that I want to share this with you. Boy, if you don't. However, I feel the need to share with y'all how small our lives are in the grand scheme of the universe. Our problems, all the issues we have mean absolutely nothing. We are flying through space on a rock. Think about that for a moment. We are flying through space on a rock. We think that this rock is so huge, it is a speck of dust. It is smaller than a speck of dust. It is a microorganism in the grand scheme of the universe. Now, I have a video right behind me that I want to share with y'all. I was watching it and I was like, whoa. Let's stop it right here. Let me share it with y'all because I know some of y'all are very interested in space. Because I'm super interested in space. My grandfather was a scientist. I like science. My brother likes science. I feel like people should have that same enthusiasm about space as I do. So I'm gonna go ahead and react, review, talk about, stop it here and there, and talk about some of the stuff that this creator is talking about. This is let's see. I want to give a shout out to the guy who made this video, Real Life Lore. Shout out to him. He made this video, so definitely go holler at your boy. But in the meantime, stick around watching with me and we can talk some space stuff like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
This is Earth. You live here on this planet somewhere, and everything that you've ever known is located right here. But just how small exactly is Earth when compared to the scale of the entire universe? Let's start by zooming out to where we can see our nearest cosmic neighbor, the Moon. You may think that the Moon is very close to Earth since it dominates our night skies, but in reality the Moon isn't this close to our planet, it's actually about this far away. 384,400 kilometers away from you right now on average. You could fit 30 entire Earths in between this distance, and if you somehow were able to drive a car at a constant 100 kilometers per hour speed, it would take you about 160 days to drive the entire distance.
Gotta stop it right there. We don't realize how far the moon is from Earth. When you look up at the stars at night and you see the moon over there chilling, you thinking like it's right there. Like you can reach out and touch the moon. That is not possible. Let me tell you a fact. You can fit every planet in our solar system in between the distance between here and the moon. Let me say that to you one more time. You can fit every planet, and there's some big ass planets out there, in between the space between Earth and the moon. Just food for thought.
To this incredible distance, however, 12 humans have actually set foot here, representing the furthest away that any individual human has ever been away from the Earth, and one of humanity's greatest achievements. This is what the Earth would look like from there if you were standing there with them, and if you wanted to communicate with...
Astrophobia, bro. Look how dark it is, man. We think because we look up at the stars at night and it lights up the sky that that's what we're gonna see when we're out in space. I believe this is how it looks. I think it's just pitch black. Like, I don't even think the moon is lit up. I don't know. Does the moon light up? I don't know. Like, well, it depends on which side is facing the sun, I want to say. I think the side that's facing away from the sun is the dark side. It's like pitch black on that side. So, you know, just saying.
With somebody back at home, it would take a message about 2.5 seconds to travel between you and them, since that's how fast the speed of light can travel at. This is a photo that was taken on Mars, and that tiny dot that you see there is Earth as seen from the Martian surface. On average, Mars is an incredible 225 million kilometers away from Earth, but that distance can be as high as 401 million kilometers. That means that whenever humanity finally gets around to landing a human on the planet, that person will be 986 times further away from Earth than the astronauts who landed on the moon were. In addition...
Let me stop it right there so we can talk about that. When people think about going to Mars, you think that you just go from Earth to Mars, right? They think that if you just fly to Mars. That's not how it goes, man. You have to make sure, you have to time up where Mars is in the rotation around the sun. So the planets go around the sun at different paces. You want to be as close to Mars as possible, and then when you leave, you need to aim your rocket ship to where Mars is going to be. So if you aim your rocket ship to where Mars is right now, let's say if we say, okay, Mars is over here. If you aim your rocket ship to where Mars is right now, you will miss it. You will be in the void of space. Mars will be long gone. Long gone. You got to go to where it's going to be and then let the gravitation pull you in. You feel me?
Fuck no!
The time delay for sending a message from Mars back to Earth isn't just 2.5 seconds, it's actually more like 20 minutes each direction, which would render instant communication in the event of an emergency impossible. When we zoom out even further away, we can find the Voyager 1 space probe, which is the furthest away man-made object from Earth. It is currently located 138 AUs from the Earth. AU meaning astronomical unit, which is the distance between the Earth and the Sun, which means that Voyager 1 is 138 times further away from us than the Sun is. At some point on its long voyage, Voyager 1 turned its camera around and took this photograph. It may not look like much at first, but in my opinion, this is the greatest single photograph ever taken in all—
Hold on, man. I gotta turn off closed caption because I think it's ruining the video. I'm gonna turn that off, man. But yeah, man, he about to say that this is Earth. You see how small that is in space? Look how small that is. Crazy, man. Now, you want to feel insignificant? This video. But that just lets you know, like, man, your problems is only skin deep. It's only skin deep, man. Enjoy your life. Enjoy it, man.
of human history. This tiny, pale blue dot is Earth, and I don't think that anybody has ever said something as amazing about this as Carl Sagan when he said, "If you look at it, you see a dot. That's here. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever lived out their lives. The aggregate of all our joys and sufferings. Thousands of confident religions, ideologies, and economic doctrines. Every hunter and every forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilizations, every king and every peasant, every young couple in love, every hopeful child, every mother and every father, every inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there, on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Voyager 1 is currently traveling at 17 kilometers every single second, but even at that speed, it won't break out of the reach of our solar system for another 30,000 years. Once we go beyond the solar system, we arrive in our interstellar neighborhood. Here we shift to the light-year unit of measurement, which is the distance that light travels in a full Earth year, or about 9.461 trillion kilometers. The star Proxima Centauri here is the closest other star to us other than our Sun, but it's still 4.24 light-years away from us. To put that into perspective, if it was heading in the right direction, it would still take Voyager 1 over 70,000 years to reach it. In other words, if you drove your car at 100 kilometers an hour like in our previous example to the moon, it would take over 6 times longer than the entire age of the universe is just to finally get there, and it wouldn't even exist still when you arrived. When we zoom out even further, we can see the entire Milky Way galaxy, inside of which Earth is located right here. This yellow dot is the furthest extent of humanity's radio broadcasts throughout history, which means that any possible aliens who live outside of this range are totally unaware of humanity's presence. It's complete—
I want to stop it right there because that is very important. People always ask, how does aliens exist and we've never seen any of them? Like, how come they don't just show themselves? Well, this is a perfect example of why you don't see aliens. You gotta understand, man. Like, that yellow dot is as far as humans' communication has reached. Look how big this. Look how big this. Look how big this universe is, bro. Look how it's just hard to fathom. Like, we are a speck of dust in a speck of dust, and you gotta understand, if let's say a alien civilization lives at the top, you know, let's say there's a civilization like humans that live at the top of the Milky Way galaxy, right? Do you know how long it would take for them to get to us? Let's say if they left today to reach us, they would get to us millions or billions of years later. When they get to Earth, Earth may not even be here. Earth may just be a rock floating through space, man. A rock floating through space. So yes, that's the reason why. And plus, on top of that, who's to say that they're not trying to communicate with us? Their signals may not get that far either. Like, we just think of aliens, we think about high-tech civilization. It might not even be a civilization with that much technology. We just assume that from videos and movies and video games that if an alien civilization is out there, they're just way more high-tech, way more advanced than us. They could be fucking Stone Age people right now, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then of course, if they're absorbing us, they're probably thinking like, you know, like, there's nothing there to go visit. Like, there's nothing there. If they're viewing us from the other side of the Milky Way galaxy, right? And then it takes light so long to reach us. Light, the speed of light is the fastest thing in, like, that is the fastest speed in the history in the universe. And it still takes millions of years for light to reach us. If they're viewing us, they're probably viewing us back when dinosaurs was here. That's how long it takes. If they're viewing us, if an alien civilization is viewing us and they're looking at the Earth, they may be viewing dinosaurs walk this mug. They may not even see us for another 100 billion years, 100 million years. I know it's hard to understand, but I'm just giving you some reasons why aliens don't reach out to us. Because again, they're looking at our planet from years ago, hundreds of millions of years ago. Dinosaurs are probably still walking in their view.
Silence outside of this yellow dot as far as we are currently aware, but the entire galaxy spans over 100,000 light years from end to end. There are over 100 billion stars and over 100 billion planets inside of our galaxy. But you have never seen the full glory of the galaxy at night, because 99% of the stars that you can...
Gotta stop it again. He just said something that just, you know, made me remember, because I saw a video yesterday. There are over 40 billion Earth-like planets in this galaxy. 40 billion. 40 billion planets like Earth. Meaning living in the habitable range closest to their star, right? Like, Earth is in the habitable range of our sun. So life, water, all those things could be on this planet. There's 40 billion planets like that, and you're telling me, right? You're telling me that not one of them has life on there? Just saying, man.
See with the naked eye are limited to this small, tiny
and that's
region
just in
right
this
here.
Galaxy.
But even this massive galaxy is nothing compared to the rest of what's out there. Zooming out even further and we arrive at the local group of galaxies, a collection of 54 different galaxies that is about 10 million light years across. But zooming out even further and we can see the Virgo supercluster, of which the local group here is just a tiny segment of. There are at least 100 other groups of galaxies just like our own local group inside of here, and the distance from one side to the other is a mind-numbing 110 million light years. But even the massive Virgo supercluster is nothing but a quiet and tiny lobe of the Great Laniakea supercluster, an enormous structure that is home to our galaxy as well as 100,000 other galaxies. The distance from one side to the other is 520 million light years, but from even there we can zoom out all the way to...
I think we should probably explain what light years are for some of y'all. Some of y'all who watch this may know what a light year is, but some of y'all may just be watching this for the first time. Let's see how long a light year is. So y'all know. Y'all probably look at it like, oh yeah, that's a big number. But let's look and see how long is a light year. Does it have it on there? Like, let's see how long is a marathon. Bro, come on. How long is a light year? Man, I'm not interested in AI mode, bro. Get this out of here. Alright, so I had to go ahead and get through all that. So it shows here that 1 light year is 10,000 Earth years. 1 light year is 10,000 Earth years. So when you see them saying 110 million light years away, you just time that by 10,000. And that's how long it's gonna take for you to get to that location, bro. Like that is nuts, bro. It is nuts. I don't know, man. Again, insignificant in the grand scheme of space, bro. I think they said space is like what, 95 trillion light years wide? Somewhere around that number, 95 billion, 95 trillion. I think it's 95 trillion light years wide. My boy, what?
To the entire observable universe and see that even the titanic Laniakea supercluster is just a tiny and insignificant part of everything. This is the observable universe, and it contains everything that we know of. It is home to at least 2 trillion different and individual galaxies, which together contain more stars than there are grains of sand on the entire Earth. The distance from Earth to any side of the observable universe is 46.5 billion light years, which means that the entire width is 93 billion light years across. What's perhaps...
I was close, bro. I said either billion or trillion. I said 95. So I knew it was somewhere 90 to 90 range. I just didn't know if it was trillion or billion. So we're locked in.
Even more interesting, however, is what actually lies beyond the observable universe. Keep in mind that the observable universe is all that we can currently see, and it's entirely possible that the rest of the universe outside of it is vastly larger and more fantastic than we can possibly ever imagine. We simply don't know what else is out there because the light from these incredibly distant places has not yet had enough time in the universe's history to reach us yet back on Earth, and the light from some places may never reach us at all. Because some parts of space very far away from Earth are expanding away from us faster than the speed of light, that means that the light from these places will never, in an infinite amount of time, reach Earth. Meaning that even if humanity is eternal and exists forever, there will still be an unknown number of places in the universe that we will never know about or ever see. So, it is very likely that as unbelievably enormous as it seems, the observable universe is just a tiny slice of what we can currently see of the entire universe. According to the theory of cosmic inflation that was proposed by Dr. Alan Guth, if it is assumed that cosmic inflation began at 10 to the negative 37th of a second after the Big Bang, and with the assumption that the size of the universe before inflation began was equal to its age times the speed of light, then this would seem to suggest that at the present day, the entire universe is 150 sextillion times larger than the observable universe. That number for reference looks like this, with this many zeros. Let this number sink in for just a moment. This would be similar to you thinking that the entire observable universe, everything that you could see, was the size of a light bulb, but then realizing that in reality the entire universe is larger than the former planet of Pluto. Imagine a light bulb in the center of Pluto, but we inside the light bulb were totally unaware that Pluto existed outside of it, and that's a similar situation to this. We are all so unbelievably small, but you shouldn't worry, because all that means is that there is so much left out there for us to discover together.
I'm gonna stop that right there before this commercial, this ad come on. Bro, think about that. Think about that for a second. He just told you the universe is 93 billion light years across. We just found out that it was 10,000 Earth years. Like, that number is so crazy to think about. Like, we were a speck within a speck within a speck within a speck, bro. That is crazy. I know some of y'all watched the movie Men in Black. At the end, there was like an alien, and it was like Orion's ball or Orion's belt was inside of a ball on an alien inside of this big old... It's like that, bro. It's like you're a speck within a speck within a speck within a speck. I thought he was going to say the observable universe, right? Which is 93 1.3 billion light years across. It was probably like a light bulb in the arena, like a football arena. He said on the planet Pluto. That's all I'm saying, bro. That's all I'm just trying to say is, man, like, space is just crazy, man, when you think about it. And when people say, like, aliens don't exist, and people think that we are the center of the universe, we are the center of everything because all you know is Earth, like, that is crazy. You got some people who think that the Earth is flat, bro. That don't even make sense. It don't even make sense when you can buy a telescope and look out into space and see planets. What the hell are you talking about, bro? What the hell are you talking about, bro? But, you know, that's neither here nor there, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video, man. Let me know how y'all feel about space. Does this make you feel small? Does it make you feel small? Anyway, man, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay out of trouble. Drink your water. Holla at your boy.
Fuck with the squad.
Fuck with us.
Fuck with us.